Unbelievable!
Let's have some blabber. I know I am not the only one that grew up in the 1990s sitting down every morning watching Escaflowne. But for me, it was a weekend show, and I loved it. In 1996, during on the Fox network, back when it was actually good, we always had this every morning.
Von Fennel, king of Fenalia, bind myself by blood pact to thee.
But before Von Fennel, king of Fenalia, got Escaflowne, we need to rewind a little bit. Come on, let's jump down this rabbit hole of anime awesomeness. So Escaflowne first kicks off, starting with one of the female lead characters, Hitomi. Isn't it nice seeing a good, honest lead as a female character before they turn to complete shit? Just ask Captain Marvel.
Is that like a personal attack or something? Or...
Hitomi, who's actually a track star, also has a little gift that she got from her grandmother, the gift of foresight. And when she's on a date with a mono, then all of a sudden a stranger appears out of nowhere. And who would be complete without a stranger, without a dragon trying to kill him? And once that happens and he kicks the heart of the dragon, they are carried off to a mystical world. Are you all with me so far? This over-induced Chad right here is Von Fennel, king of Fenalia, a master swordsman who takes his life and his lineage very seriously. Living up to his royal heritage, is a professional sword master, and honestly, the guy just kicks ass all the time. Isn't masculinity great? Take that, patriarchy. But one of the things that was honestly very beautiful about this show is the Guy Malice. These machines that Von, and honestly even other characters, which we're going to get into, are able to combat and control. Only to see that they're able to be controlled by various means, they're only going to be as good as the people that are operating them. But not just anybody can operate a Guy Malice, and only Von Fennel can operate Escaflowne. Arguably one of the best Guy Malice that has been ever made. Think of this as like an animated Game of Thrones, if you will. But you remember that dragon that Von had to slay? He needed that heart for a purpose, and it's because that heart and that heart alone, cutting himself, binding himself to Escaflowne. Von had him planned the whole time, and once he was able to get things into fruition, he was able to bind himself and summon Escaflowne, bonding him together with his Guy Malice, making them one and the same. And honestly, back in 1996, this was a fucking great concept. It was exceptionally written, and honestly, even the visuals were phenomenal. Hats off to you, Fox kids. But one thing to remember, just because Von is of a royal lineage, he is not the only one that can power a Guy Malice. That means his enemies can as well. And this ultimately leads to great fighting, great scenes, and honestly, just a great adaptation for this style of anime. Probably the closest representation that you can think of from Escaflowne is Gundam, honestly. Hitomi's gift of foresight does bear Von a lot of help when he's in his battles. He cannot see every enemy that he fights, as some can be invisible. And thanks to Hitomi, it does give him a battling edge, and it does work out great. Empire Zybok is going to be the biggest antagonist in this show, but honestly, Hitomi was to Von in the very beginning. They did not always have a good relationship. He saw her as a burden. He saw her as an annoyance, always having to save her, always trying to get her out of trouble. It's something that worked off very well, and honestly, if you know the relationship, yeah. But one of the better things you find out about Von is he is not just the king of Fenalia. If you would have guessed that Von is a fucking angel, you're out of your goddamn mind. I never would have guessed this. Ladies, if your man does not turn into an angel to catch you when you're falling, then he's not the one. Get stepping, brochacho. I will say that's one hell of a Tinder mesh, though. If you grew up watching Escaflowne in your 1996 from Sunrise Studios, go ahead and smash that like button like Von Fennel wanted to do with Hitomi. Like this video, share this video. And I think this even goes without saying also, Escaflowne, especially shows back in the late 1990s, were just violent as all hell. They were brutal. It was something, honestly, even at my young age at the time to see. It was honestly really interesting. It's a lot better than compared to the slop we have now for some television.
And I also use they and them, because calling me a she or a he doesn't feel right to me.
Who approved this script?
Stan Edgar.
Get him on the phone, I'm not saying this shit. Fuck you.
I I do think that obviously that we are all going to have our own various opinions on what we like growing up, and especially what we're used to. But for me, a show like this was just perfect. The animation was exceptional, and I think back then we had better animation at that time. Sure, some things are a little bit better now, but let me know in the comment section below, what animation was better? Late 90s or early 2000s, or even our current time? For Escaflowne, this is what's known as Izika animation. And yes, I know I'm probably fucking that up, but I'm all gonna work with what I got here. All of the characters that we have seen in Escaflowne thus far, and there are hundreds that I have not even mentioned yet, did make up for a beautiful universe. I cannot talk about this show enough. The visuals, the character development, even Vaughn, yes, he was an asshole. He was an arrogant little prick that definitely had some mommy and daddy issues. But when you understand what Vaughn has went through in his childhood, even becoming an angel, which was he was born that way from his mother, which we already saw, it's not going to make you the most average person. And let's face it, everything that this guy does for his craft, for his family, for a fallen empire that he is trying to protect against Dornkirk, some of the things you're just going to understand about this character, and it wraps up very good in the finale. Now, there is a movie that was done with Escaflowne, but we don't need to talk about that one. But if you love that movie, power to you. And I think one of the most important things that makes a great show separate from a good show, or even just an average show, is the way that they can incorporate the score into some of these animations. And with this style, and honestly with the work that they put into it, the score with Escaflowne was exceptional. But so I can avoid a copyright claim, well, I can give you guys a little bit of a preview. But when it made the action scenes this much better, it just helped the show so much. I even said the same thing about Dragon Ball Z, but for Escaflowne, the score was perfect. Well done to them. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. More videos will be coming soon. Please check out the rest of my channel for other anime awesomeness. Thank you all again, and take care.
Sleeper has awakened. I am the Prince of all Saiyans once again.